Hello YouTube! So for October, I decided to set a challenge for myself to read and watch as many things in the horror genre as possible. I was never really into horror movies at all, and I just didn't really know about any horror books. I just didn't really gravitate toward that area of the library or the bookstore. But for some reason I had this sort of renewed interest in it. I also at Geek Girl Con went to an amazing panel called Women in the Horror Genre, and I just really liked it. I just thought it was really fascinating. It's this genre that like a lot of people sort of turn their nose up at, but can be so fun and can be done so well and is so interesting, and it's just one of those things that you do because it delights you and it scares you, and I don't know, I just found that really interesting this year. So for this video I wanted to do a little wrap up of everything that I read and watched. The first book I read was Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. This book was amazing. First of all, it's so interesting because it looks like an IKEA catalog. It actually is meant to look like an IKEA catalog. It takes place at the store called Orst, which in this book is sort of a crappier knockoff of IKEA. And so this girl works at the store, and then there's some weird stuff happening, and so her floor manager has her and a few other employees stay overnight to sort of investigate, and then it just gets crazy. This book was graphic and it was horrifying and I loved it. Anyway, I really recommend this book. I really liked it. I had to like put it down a couple times. I had to just be like, nope, but not because it was bad, just because it was intense. Then I read Through the Woods, Stories by Emily Carroll. I thought that this book looked gorgeous. I was totally 100% drawn to it by the cover and by the art. The art is just like so interesting looking. I liked it okay. It has 5 short story graphic novel stories in it, and a couple of them were really interesting. They all sort of ended kind of abruptly. I mean, you might like that. You might just like things that sort of are left dangling and you have to think about it afterward and decide for yourself what happened. I can like that, but I felt like these were a little too abrupt. But they were interesting and the art was gorgeous. It did live up to that. Then I read The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer by Michelle Hodkin. This is a book that I've had on my shelf for a while. I ended up liking it. I didn't love it. It's one of those books where you don't know what's going on. This girl like has memory loss. Weird things are happening to her now, and you're sort of like just in the dark about what's happening. And then at the end of the book you like sort of figure out partially what's going on, and it wasn't really what I hoped it would be. I still think it's very well written. I still think it was a fun journey. I still really enjoyed it. I'm still definitely going to read the second and third books in the series. I'm just hoping that it goes somewhere more interesting than it seems to be going in this one. Then the last book that I read was The Graveyard Book by Neil Gaiman. Oh my God, I loved this book. This book was just so good. It's just so good. If you haven't read this book, like go read it right now. It's about a little boy who is raised by ghosts in a graveyard, and he's given freedom of the graveyard, which kind of allows him to have some of the abilities that you're not supposed to get till after you die. But he has them now so that these ghosts can keep him safe in this graveyard because there's this man who's trying to kill him. I loved it. I really loved it. Every chapter is sort of like a different adventure in his life as he grows up, and I just cannot say enough good things about this book, so go read this book right now. The 3 books I had on my TBR this month that I didn't get to or didn't get through, I figured I should also just tell you. The first one is Bad Girls Don't Die by Katie Allender. I actually made it a good deal of the way through this book. I made it this far into this book, but I just didn't like it. It sounded really interesting. It's about this girl whose younger sister has a bunch of dolls and like gets possessed. I could see other people liking this. Maybe I might have even liked it when I was younger, but I just think I'm a little too old for this book. The other books that were on my TBR for the month that I just didn't get to because I didn't have time were Gillian Flynn, Sharp Objects. I haven't read Gone Girl, but this is by the same author and it just looked really interesting. It's about this girl who, after being in a psychiatric hospital, I believe, returns to her hometown to do some investigative research on the murder of these 2 girls, and apparently weird stuff starts happening to her, and I got it because it was a short one that I thought would like easily pad out my scary books this month, but I just didn't get to it, but I'm really excited to read it at some point in the future. The other one that I didn't get to is huge. It's a giant book. It's called Remember Me. It actually has Remember Me, The Return, and The Last Story, all 3 books in the trilogy in this one book, which is why it's so big, because it's actually 3 whole books. It's about a girl who is dead. She knows she was murdered, and then she sort of like figures out how she died. It sounded sort of like Pretty Little Liars, but like from the opposite, like if it was from Allie's point of view, like after she dies. I don't know. It was huge, so I didn't get to it, but I want to read it in the future. Also, I got this whole thing for $5. Then movies. My roommates and I watched a bunch of scary movies just on Netflix. The first one we watched is Haunter. It had Abigail Breslin in it, and it was pretty good. I actually really liked this movie. It was about, I don't really want to spoil it because there's some cool stuff that you figure out a little ways into the movie, but basically it's about this girl who lives with her family in this house, and the same day keeps repeating over and over and over, and she's the only one who notices. So she's sort of stuck in like a Groundhog Day type situation, and there's some ghost stuff, and it's spooky, and I really liked it. I thought that was a pretty good movie as far as horror movies go. Then we watched The Possession, which is about this family where the dad and mom are divorced, and they have these two girls, and the younger of the two girls gets this box at a estate sale, and it's this box that has this demon in it that starts to possess her or whoever is in possession of the box. He has to figure out how to like do an exorcism to get his daughter back, and the whole thing is really creepy and I really liked it. Then we watched Devil, which has Chris Messina in it, the guy from the Mindy Project, which is a movie about these people who get stuck in an elevator and then really crappy things start happening to them inside the elevator because it turns out that the devil is possessing one of these bodies and you don't know which one it is, and so it's sort of like a mystery to figure out which one's the devil and all this stuff, and I really liked that movie. It was a really good movie, and it was like scary but fun, and oh my god, there is a like I have read and watched too many scary things. There is a like construction truck over there that's like has a big arm because it's digging something, and I just saw it out of the corner of my eye and I thought it was a monster. If you saw my face just now, which you did because I filmed it, it scared the crap out of me. It scared the crap out of me. Oh my god. Okay, so the last thing is American Horror Story started up again for the year, and I've only seen the first episode. I know we're a couple episodes in now, but the new one is called Freak Show, and it has all of the characters at a like a freak show carnival that's sort of on the edge. I think it's the last one that exists before they're all sort of wiped out. And the premiere was like really uncomfortable, but in a good way. And I really love American Horror Story, so I'm excited to keep watching it and see how it unfolds and see how all the characters grow in these new ways. So let me know down in the comments if you have read or watched any of the things I talked about in this video and what your thoughts were. Happy Halloween! That's coming up soon. Again, let me know your thoughts on other things that you've seen down below, and I will see you next time.